I'm hiding the elf in the Christmas tree this morning. I think he's going to be camouflaged. And then for breakfast, I'm having Nature's Own bread with sugar-free jam, some peanut butter, a mandarin, and then, half a cup of egg whites and an egg, and 2 slices of ham. And then I had some sugar-free hot chocolate. So after breakfast, I was about to set off to go shopping, but I had just finished watching 84 Charing Cross Road with Anne Bancroft and Anthony Hopkins. A really good movie, and it's available for free on YouTube if you want to pull it up and watch it if you have some time. It's a really, really sweet movie, an older movie, and I was kind of inspired to run to the thrift store, my favorite thrift store, and look at some old books. And I wanted to buy a couple of old books. It had hit me that next month is going to be a no spend January, and I thought, you know what, I won't be able to buy an old book in January. So not that I don't have old books already, but I kind of wanted to look for some. So that's where I went. I saw this doctor's office scale. I thought this was kind of interesting. It worked too. So I started looking at all of these books, and I really liked the smell of them. All these storybooks. It was really neat. So if you're wondering what books I found while I was there, I found a few really old books, and one of them it's called Cooking with Love, and it's a really old cookbook. Look at these pages. I just love the way they feel different from back then, right? And it's just a real simple cookbook. You have real simple ingredients, and that is right up my alley. That's what I love. And then also I'm not a huge fiction reader, right? But I know I have the capacity to really love fiction, because back when I was in college and I was really getting into American literature, I read so many books and so many stories that were fiction, and I really loved them. And so I know I have the capacity to love fiction. I just have really preferred to read, nonfiction and health books and cookbooks and things like that for the past few years. But I did find 2 old fiction books, and they're nothing I think that I recognized, but I looked through them and they looked like they were really well written, and that they were interesting. So it's called Women in Thomas Harrow by John McGuand, I think. It looks like a good book. And this is Celia Garth. And it's just they're just storybooks, and I thought, you know what, I think I probably like those. And then I found this one, All of the Men in the Bible. So every man mentioned in the Bible, whether, no matter who it is, there's like a profile here, what the name means, and just, all kinds of stuff, and the references that you could find them in the Bible. I thought this would be really nice to add that to our study tools. I really like stuff like that. It really helps. So anyway, I'm going to have a lot of fun going through all of those. Okay, so when I went to Walmart, I thought about, I was going to go to Sam's and record stuff, but my mind was blown. I didn't even do that. When I went to Walmart, I had to pick up a few things there. And I went inside, and then I thought, gosh, I'm going to stop by the ladies' room. I feel like when I'm going to Walmart and shopping that I'm walking across a football field. It's just a lot of walking. And then, while I was there, washing my hands, going through my purse, I realized that I did not have my keys. And it just really, I started looking frantically for them and everywhere. And all of a sudden I flashed on, oh my goodness, and I never do this, I never ever do this. I probably left them in the car. And I just flashed on an image that perhaps I left them right in the middle island in the car, and anyone who looks in will see them in the car. Oh my goodness. Then all of a sudden I started panicking, because I thought, what if they get into the car, because when we live in the city, we live in a big city. So many times, I will see people just kind of like walking around in the parking lot, looking in people's cars, trying the doors, you know, seeing if it's open. Who knows? You know what I mean? They'll just get in. But if they saw my keys just sitting there, I think they'd probably try pretty hard to get into the car. And thank goodness it was locked, you know, but my keys are sitting there again. I can't get into the car. And so I just freaked out, and I immediately just started praying and asking the Lord to please keep people away from the car, and please don't let anybody take it. And here I'm thinking I have my house keys on the key ring, and I have my address in the car and my insurance info, you know, and stuff like that. And so that really, I got kind of panicked, and all of a sudden, and mind you, I have not run. I've walked, but I've not run since before my surgery, right? And here we are just over 8 weeks, and I take off, and I have this cart, and I'm just like trying to be careful not to hit people, but I'm just like running through Walmart, and all of a sudden I just like turned into this person of Walmart. I'm running like the fuzz is after me, and all these people are like, you know, they were looking at me kind of weird because they could see I was just like, oh, move out of my way. And one woman yells after me. I had charcoal in my basket. Where'd you find the charcoal? And I thought, oh, that's kind of odd. I had to stop, and I told her where it was, and I kept on running. And so I left my basket by the door, and I ran to the car, and wouldn't you know it, yeah, I looked through the window, and there it was. I mean, and I have this really sparkly thing, a key ring on there. It really catches your attention. It's like a bunch of rhinestones, and there it was sitting in the middle of the island. So if anybody looked into the car, they couldn't miss all these keys on my key ring. And so, oh my goodness, I thought I'm not going to leave the car. So of course I tried all the doors and windows. Then I called my honey, and I must have looked, you know, kind of a mess. And I was telling him on the phone what happened, and he was on the way to take the dog to the vet. So I knew it was going to be a while before he could help me, or, you know, possibly look and see if I have an extra key at home. And so then this very nice gentleman comes up, walking up. It just seemed like instantly he walks up and he said, "Excuse me, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I heard you. I overheard what you were saying." And he had a hanger in his hands. And he seemed like a nice man, and he just parked a couple of cars down, and he had his son with him there. He had like a teen son with him in the car, and he said, "You know, I could help if you want me to." And so my husband was on the phone with me, and he just thought, you know, some stranger's coming up to try to offer this help. We don't know him. And he said, no, he's yelling on the phone, absolutely not, you know. And I'm trying to say, honey, it's okay, you know, just let's see if, you know, he can do this. And so I let him, and he had to try a few times. He was trying not to damage the vehicle, and which I appreciate, but it took a little bit, but he did it. So he opened the door, and I was so happy. I ran over. I was actually going to give him like $20, you know, and I asked him, I said, please let me give you something for, you know, for my gratitude. I'm so grateful that you did this. And I asked him like 3 times. I was trying to shove it at him. He would not take anything. And so I just told him, oh my goodness, God bless you. You are so great to do this. So I was really just, I mean, it was just miraculous how it all happened. And I was so relieved. I opened the keys right away, and oh my goodness. And actually, you know, as soon as he got it open, I went and grabbed my keys from the other side, just in case he wasn't on the up and up. But I think I thought he was, you know, from the get-go. But so I was really grateful for that. But that was the morning. Then after that, I went to Sam's, and I was just like, there were so many people there. There were just so many people are out, you know, getting ready for their holiday parties, and they are looking for gifts, and just way, way, way too many people. And it was just an exhausting day. So I did not film anything. I need to get home after this. I mean, after you get like a rush of that kind of panic, you really do get exhausted. You know what I mean? And so I came home and I sat in my hubby's massage chair after I cleaned the fridge out and put everything away. I was totally exhausted. I didn't, I loaded stuff like 3 times and I ran and then I freaked out. So I was just exhausted. But anyway, so that's kind of how the rest of the day started going. And then, so I took a little bit of a nap this afternoon, and then we went back to Trader Joe's. I had to get some other things. But anyway, that's what happened this afternoon. All right, I also have to add in, I know why I left my keys. Now, normally, every time I get out of the car, I make sure that I have the keys in my hand, and I do not close it or lock it without the keys in my hand. Now, normally, yes, you would have to use the key to lock the door, right? Then you have the keys. But the thing is that I like driving the older car that I have because it's just smaller and so it's easier to park. But it stopped responding to the key ring to lock it. So I have to lock it with my hand before I get out now. And so it's now I have to watch it because it's totally plausible to forget it that way. But what happened was there was somebody in front of us in a truck. There was a truck in front of us and they had left their blinker lights on. And so I thought, oh no, it's going to run their battery down. So I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody in the driver's seat. So I'm like, okay, there's nobody in there. Let me get the license plate and then I can go in and they can call it over the loudspeaker and let them know that they left their lights on, right? So I was going to like help somebody else out, but because I had my mind on doing that, I forgot about the keys and I had inadvertently left them at that point, in time because I was thinking about someone else. And then I was kind of looking inside and come to find out there was a woman sitting in the passenger seat and she was just staring at me. She was wondering why I was checking out her car. So that threw me way off and I walked off without the keys. And so that's what happened. Okay, it's Sam's and I am done. I am loaded. I got everything in the car and I have to say I'm feeling a little wore out. I just have not moved this much heavy stuff in a while, so I'm just going to sit here a minute before I go. All right, Honey and the boys met me at the Greek restaurant for some lunch, and then later on I had some of my sugar-free, non-fat yogurt pudding at home, and then I had an orange later, and then for dinner I just had an egg and some toast. Okay, so I realized that I have a real absence of vegetables in my diet today. I actually did have some salad when we went to the Greek restaurant, and I actually ate like half of one skewer of chicken, just like 2 or 3 nuggets. And I had a few French fries, the rest of them we just brought home. But I had a few little corners of the pita with some of the tzatziki and the hummus. And then, I just brought everything else home. So it was just, yeah, it was very filling. And then tonight I didn't really want anything except for an egg and some toast, and that was about it. So, but I'm going to be trying, I really need to try to get more vegetables. I did buy a whole bunch of veggies today and a bunch of salad. I got it at Sam's and at Trader Joe's. So I'm really going to make a concerted effort to include more salads this week. And I got a bunch of baby bok choy, so I'm going to need to cook that. So I'm wondering if maybe I should make like a pho or something. Oh my goodness, my ring won't move. I am so just loaded with sodium. Oh my goodness, I'm full of, I'm really bloated. Okay, so I'm going to let you go. It's just been a really busy day, you guys. Happy Vlogmas. I will see you tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be a lot more quiet. So anyway, I hope you had a wonderful Saturday and I will see you soon.